What if the people you trusted most were the very ones draining your spirit? Imagine discovering that beneath friendly smiles and familiar faces lurked hidden motives, quiet manipulations and subtle betrayals. How do you protect your peace when those around you chip away at it, piece by piece? Maya Lin thought she'd found a new beginning, a fresh start in a new city, surrounded by fresh faces and the promise of meaningful connections. But as she ventured deeper into her new life, Maya began to sense an unsettling truth, one that forced her to question everything she believed about friendship, loyalty, and even herself. Could she trust anyone, or was each relationship a test of her strength, a lesson in self-worth? Maya, a compassionate woman with a hopeful heart, had always believed in seeing the good in people. After all, isn't life richer when you trust, when you open yourself to others? Yet, as she stepped into a new chapter, her optimism was met with quiet doubts. Strange encounters, lingering glances, and veiled remarks made her question the intentions of those around her. Were these people genuine, or did they wear masks hiding deeper insecurities and subtle manipulations? Maya felt the pull between wanting to trust and the need to protect herself. As she navigates each relationship, Maya faces an inner conflict. Should she walk away or confront those who undermine her spirit? Her journey becomes an unexpected test of resilience, a path she never imagined would be filled with suspicion and revelations. But every step brings her closer to an unavoidable choice. And now she must decide. Is her peace worth sacrificing in the name of connection? Or will she reclaim her worth by facing each truth, no matter how painful? Stay with us as we unravel Maya's story, a journey of quiet strength, self-discovery, and the ultimate battle between loyalty and self-respect. What would you do if you found yourself surrounded by people who make you doubt your own worth? Join us as we follow Maya, one step at a time, into a world where appearances deceive, and only the strongest hearts survive. The day Maya moved to the new city felt almost mystical, as if destiny had beckoned her here. She found herself wondering, what was it about these new faces and places that felt like both a gift and a test? Would she finally find connections that matched her deep yearning for peace? As she gazed at the unfamiliar skyline, Maya felt an almost sacred anticipation. Were these new connections blessings or challenges in disguise? The air seemed charged with possibility and hidden lessons. As Maya entered her workplace on the first day, she felt something shifting within her. "Will I truly belong here?" she whispered under her breath, feeling both curiosity and unease. The office buzzed with people, all with expressions that hinted at stories unknown. She imagined each one as a potential teacher or perhaps an adversary. She found herself drawn to these faces, intrigued yet cautious, as if fate had cast her in a role where her spirit would be both tested and strengthened. Meeting Sam, Laura, and the others only heightened Maya's sense of mystery. She couldn't help but ask herself, who are these people beneath their polished exteriors? Their conversations danced around her with an odd mix of kindness and veiled condescension. Were they allies, or would they force her to confront the depths of her own insecurities? Am I here to change or be changed by them? She wondered. Maya sensed a quiet storm gathering, a subtle shifting of energies between her and the people she'd soon call her colleagues. When Maya returned home, the silence of her apartment wrapped around her like a cloak. Reflecting on the day, she felt both enlightened and unsettled. Were these connections reflections of her inner conflicts, her own unresolved fears and insecurities? The answers will unfold, she thought, echoing Eckhart Tolle's words. Life will give you whatever experience is most helpful for the evolution of your consciousness. And so, with a mixture of curiosity and trepidation, Maya braced herself for what was to come. Have you ever noticed how some people lift themselves by putting others down? Sam's voice dripped with sarcasm as he made another belittling comment about a coworker. Maya watched him carefully, recognizing a subtle insecurity lurking beneath his confident exterior. Why did he need to undermine others to feel powerful? His laughter, though outwardly confident, seemed hollow. Maya felt the sting of his words, not just for herself but for everyone in their workplace. What deeper pain, she wondered, did Sam carry? Does he even realize the impact of his words? Maya thought to herself, remembering a line from Gabrielle Bernstein about compassion. Hurt people hurt people. She realized Sam's attitude reflected a much deeper wound. Each mocking comment, each sneer was his shield, his barrier against a world he likely felt threatened by. But why did he choose Maya as his target today? With each sneer, Maya felt her patience wane. Would she confront him or walk away, preserving her peace? One day, Sam aimed a comment squarely at her. "That's a cute idea, Maya, but let's leave the big decisions to the big players." The words lingered, filling the room with a tense silence. "Do I engage?" she wondered, her mind racing. Instead, Maya offered a calm smile, a reflection of the peace she fought to maintain. She breathed deeply, remembering Deepak Chopra's words on self-worth. "You alone are enough." As Sam's smirk faltered, Maya felt the power shift, even if only slightly. Later, alone in her office, Maya reflected on Sam's actions. Why did his insecurities hurt others, and how could she maintain compassion without losing herself? She realized that Sam's contempt was a challenge, not just a conflict but a test of her resilience. "Will I let his words shape me, or will I transcend them?" she asked herself. In her heart she knew the answer. In embracing her strength, she could face Sam's contempt without surrendering to it. Lara's smile was warm, disarming even, but her words often didn't match her actions. How does someone lie so naturally? Maya pondered, feeling that familiar twinge of doubt whenever Lara spoke. It wasn't just the lies, but the subtle manipulation, the way Lara's words left her feeling unsteady. Maya remembered a quote from Eckhart Tolle: "All manipulation is a form of control." But how could she confront Lara's lies without losing her own peace? One evening, as they sipped coffee, Maya found herself questioning Lara's latest excuse for canceling plans. "Do I believe her this time?" she wondered, feeling both weary and curious. The stories Lara spun seemed plausible, yet something felt amiss. Maya had read about gaslighting before but hadn't expected it from someone she called a friend. Could it be that Lara's lies were more than just stories? They were her way of controlling Maya's reality? When Maya finally confronted Lara, her friend deflected with a soft laugh, dismissing Maya's concerns. "You're overthinking things," Lara replied, eyes glinting. But Maya felt her intuition stir, urging her to stand firm. "You know, honesty is the foundation of trust," she responded, her voice calm but unwavering. Lara looked away, and for the first time, Maya sensed a crack in her friend's facade. Was this Maya's breakthrough? Or was Lara merely regrouping, ready to deflect again? In the silence that followed, Maya felt empowered. Confronting Lara's dishonesty had shifted something within her, helping her break free from the subtle manipulation she'd endured. The truth, Maya thought, is the highest form of love. She vowed to uphold it not just in her relationships but within herself. And as she walked away from the conversation, she felt lighter, as if shedding the burden of Lara's lies had cleared her path to self-honesty. Jordan, Maya's old friend, had a familiar way of shifting blame. Why does he always play the victim? Maya thought, exasperated as he recounted his latest misfortune, all of which he attributed to others. His refusal to take ownership over his choices left Maya feeling drained, as if she too carried the weight of his choices. "Is it my role to rescue him?" she wondered, echoing the words of countless self-help books she had devoured over the years. She thought back to a phrase from Deepak Chopra: "Responsibility is the highest form of personal empowerment." Maya knew this intuitively, yet she felt tangled in Jordan's narrative of helplessness. Could it be that she'd become his emotional crutch? She wanted to support him, but wasn't she losing herself in the process? Maya realized that her peace had become the collateral in Jordan's ongoing battle with accountability. But would she ever have the courage to pull back? One evening, after another one-sided conversation, Maya decided to speak up. "Jordan, have you ever considered that some of these issues might stem from choices you've made?" Her question hung in the air, loaded with a mixture of compassion and firm resolve. Jordan shifted uncomfortably, offering vague excuses. Yet Maya felt no urge to console him. For the first time, she allowed silence to fill the space where her sympathy used to live. She was done being his emotional lifeline. As Maya walked home that night, she felt a strange calm settle over her. She realized that letting Jordan face his own choices was the kindest thing she could do for both of them. "I am not responsible for his journey," she reminded herself, feeling the weight of years lift from her shoulders. It was time to honor her path and let Jordan take responsibility for his own. For Maya, this wasn't abandonment. It was liberation. Aunt Lena had a habit of talking over everyone, but Maya bore the brunt of it most. "Does she even realize she's dismissing me?" Maya wondered, her words often left hanging in midair, discarded by Lena's need to dominate the conversation. It wasn't just rudeness. It felt like a denial of Maya's existence. Maya knew the value of attentive listening, yet here she was, silenced by someone who couldn't see past herself. How could Maya reclaim her voice? In moments like these, Maya would think of Eckhart Tolle's teaching on presence. When you listen, you give someone your full attention. But how could she embody this wisdom in a room where her own voice went unheard? Maya began to see Lena's behavior as a mirror, a reflection of the respect she had yet to demand. Would she confront her aunt or let silence become her answer? There was power, Maya realized, in choosing when and to whom she spoke. During one gathering, Maya caught herself mid-sentence, watching Lena hijack the conversation once again. This time, however, she didn't interrupt or try to regain her space. She simply stopped speaking, allowing Lena's voice to fill the room while her own fell silent. Sometimes silence speaks louder than words, Maya reminded herself, sensing a shift within. Lena may not have noticed, but Maya felt the quiet victory within her, a reclaiming of her worth beyond Lena's approval. As the evening wore on, Maya realized that her silence had become a form of strength, a quiet rebellion against years of dismissal. She didn't need Lena's acknowledgement to validate her voice. She was worthy with or without it. And as Maya left, she felt lighter, knowing that sometimes the deepest respect we can show ourselves is refusing to give our words to those who won't listen. This, she decided, was how she would protect her peace. When Alec apologized, it always sounded hollow, as though his words were rehearsed. How often do we accept words without actions? Maya pondered, sensing a weariness growing within her. Each time, Alec promised change but never followed through, leaving Maya questioning her own worth. Should she accept these empty apologies? Was this her limit, or did she deserve more? The quiet dissonance between his words and actions weighed on her, stirring her longing for sincerity. Maya recalled Gabrielle Bernstein's words, "True apology is a form of healing. Anything less is manipulation." How many times had she let Alec's empty words soothe her doubts, only to see him repeat the same mistakes? She felt a gentle resolve forming within her. Was it time to demand more? Could she find peace in letting go, in choosing love for herself over his shallow apologies? Maya felt the quiet courage rising, whispering to her that she was worthy of more. One evening, Alec began another half-hearted apology, but Maya interrupted him softly. "Alec, do you truly mean these words, or are they just a way to move past discomfort?" Her question surprised him, and she watched as his confidence wavered. Of course I mean it," he stammered. But Maya saw through the facade. She felt a calmness wash over her as she met his gaze, a quiet understanding that his words no longer held power over her heart. Walking away from Alec that night, Maya felt both free and grounded. She had chosen to honor herself, to seek relationships built on genuine love and respect. "My value," she reminded herself, "is defined by my love for myself, not by anyone's fleeting promises." It was a liberation, an awakening, and she felt the beauty of this choice ripple through her. She was ready for connections that honored her spirit, leaving Alec's apologies behind as a lesson learned. Maya watched her neighbor Beth roughly pull her dog's leash, snapping at the poor creature. How people treat the vulnerable, Maya thought, reveals who they truly are. The scene unsettled her, a reminder of the lack of compassion in those around her. Could I stand by and watch? She wondered, feeling her heart ache for the helpless animal. Beth's cruelty ignited something fierce within Maya, a calling to protect those who couldn't protect themselves. She remembered Deepak Chopra's insight, "When we harm another, we only harm ourselves." Watching Beth's cold indifference, Maya felt her compassion deepen, knowing this was a reflection of Beth's own unresolved pain. Could Beth's cruelty be transformed by kindness? Maya found herself wondering if compassion could ever reach someone like Beth, whose heart seemed closed to empathy. How far, she asked herself, do we extend our compassion before we must act? One afternoon, Maya approached Beth, her voice steady. "Beth, your dog deserves care and kindness." Beth looked at her with a sneer. "Mind your own business, Maya." But Maya didn't flinch, her heart filled with the calm determination that came from love. "The way we treat animals reflects our humanity," she said softly. Beth's gaze faltered, if only for a moment. Maya left the conversation feeling empowered, knowing she had spoken up for compassion, even if Beth wasn't ready to hear it. As she walked away, Maya felt a lightness fill her spirit. She realized that her role wasn't to change Beth, but to stand by her values. When we speak for those who can't, Maya reflected, we honor the deepest love within ourselves. She decided to follow up with local animal services, not out of anger, but with the peaceful knowledge that she was creating a ripple of kindness. It was enough to know she had stood for something beautiful. Kara's behavior was a puzzle, shifting from warmth to coldness without warning. Why is she so unpredictable? Maya wondered, watching her boss's moods like a wary observer. One moment Kara was supportive, the next dismissive, leaving Maya feeling off balance. How much power, Maya pondered, should someone's inconsistency have over her? Kara's mercurial moods had become an unspoken challenge, a silent test of Maya's inner stability. Maya remembered Eckhart Tolle's teaching on inner peace. Nothing that happens outside of you can ever take away the peace you cultivate within. Would she let Kara's instability become her own? The thought ignited a sense of resolve within her. Maya realized she didn't need to mirror Kara's volatility. Instead, she could be the calm amidst the storm. But would her peace withstand the pressures Kara threw her way? One tense afternoon, Kara criticized Maya's work in front of the team, leaving Maya feeling exposed. But Maya took a steadying breath, grounding herself. "Thank you for the feedback," she replied calmly, refusing to rise to Kara's challenge. In her heart, Maya felt her strength solidify, a quiet anchor against Kara's turbulent waves. She could feel Kara's confusion. Had Maya just deflected her control? The power shift was palpable, a moment of subtle victory. Walking back to her desk, Maya felt a serene strength within her, a resilience Kara couldn't shake. "My peace is mine to keep," Maya thought, feeling a quiet joy. Kara's behavior might remain inconsistent, but Maya had discovered her own constant, her unwavering self-worth. She no longer needed to brace herself for Kara's moods, knowing she was centered in her own calm. This peace, she realized, was the true foundation of her journey. Tom's words were coated with politeness, but his tone was sharp, laced with a passive aggressiveness Maya could no longer ignore. How do people disguise insults as kindness? She mused, sensing Tom's resentment beneath his thinly veiled jabs. His comments were subtle but piercing, leaving Maya questioning her worth. But she asked herself, was his bitterness hers to carry? Tom's words felt like small arrows, chipping away at her sense of peace. She thought of Gabrielle Bernstein's wisdom on boundaries. True kindness sometimes means saying no to toxicity. Why should she accept Tom's covert hostility? Maya knew that kindness wasn't synonymous with passivity. Could she find a way to stand her ground without feeding into his negativity? It was a balance, a delicate dance between compassion and self-respect. Would confronting Tom bring peace or deepen the divide? One evening, after another passive-aggressive remark, Maya took a deep breath. "Tom," she began, her voice calm but firm, "I sense there's tension between us. Can we talk about it openly?" Tom's smile wavered, his guard momentarily dropping. "I don't know what you mean," he replied, avoiding her gaze. But Maya held steady, refusing to retreat. "If there's something you'd like to discuss, I'm here to listen," she said, allowing her sincerity to break through his facade. Leaving the conversation, Maya felt a sense of liberation. She realized that she didn't need Tom's approval or friendship if it came at the cost of her peace. "I am worthy of respect and authenticity," she reminded herself, feeling the power of her choice. In her heart, Maya knew she had reclaimed her voice, her right to stand up for her well-being. Tom's hostility no longer held weight. Maya was free, grounded in the boundaries she had courageously set. Noah had a knack for making Maya feel like she had something to prove. "If you're really capable, you should do this," he would say, his words like hooks tugging at her self-worth. Why did she feel so unsettled in his presence? Each interaction left Maya questioning herself, as though her value hinged on meeting his standards. But whose voice, she wondered, was she truly hearing? His or her own doubts? Eckhart Tolle's teachings came to her. Your worth is innate. It needs no validation. Could she really let go of the need for others' approval? Maya felt a sense of anticipation, wondering what would happen if she stopped trying to prove herself. Would Noah's grip on her sense of self finally weaken? She imagined the freedom in living authentically, untethered from anyone's expectations. It was a vision that filled her with quiet hope. One afternoon, Noah challenged her again, implying her recent success was mere luck. "Do you need constant validation, Noah?" she asked calmly, her words sharp yet compassionate. He looked taken aback and Maya felt a power rise within her. "I've realized," she continued, "that my worth doesn't require your approval." Her voice was steady, filled with a quiet assurance she hadn't known she possessed. In that moment, Maya felt free, her spirit unshackled. Leaving the interaction, Maya felt her heart lighten. She was done seeking validation, no longer willing to let anyone dictate her value. "I am enough," she reminded herself, her soul filled with peace. She knew this strength wasn't fleeting. It was the essence of who she was. Her journey had brought her back to herself, whole and complete, freed from the need to prove anything to anyone. This, she realized, was her ultimate liberation. As Maya stood on the hilltop at sunset, a quiet peace settled over her heart. She felt the journey she had taken, the struggles, the lessons, the liberation. Each moment, each challenge had brought her closer to herself, her truest essence. Who was she now? A woman grounded in her worth, liberated from toxic influences. "Have I found what I was searching for?" she wondered, feeling the answer bloom within her heart. Looking back on her journey, Maya realized that each person, each interaction had been a mirror reflecting her own growth. "Every challenge brought me deeper into my own strength," she thought, echoing the words of Eckhart Tolle. "The primary cause of unhappiness is never the situation but your thoughts about it." Maya knew now that peace was hers to cultivate, an inner sanctuary no one could touch. Would this peace sustain her as she moved forward? In the silence of the dusk, Maya felt a soft assurance, as if the universe whispered, "You are ready." She had let go of each toxic connection, honoring herself above all else. Her journey had been one of forgiveness, not of others but of herself for the times she'd forgotten her own value. "May I always remember," she murmured, her voice soft, "that I am worthy of love, truth, and respect." This was her vow, her gift to herself. As the sun dipped below the horizon, Maya closed her eyes, breathing in the quiet, sacred peace she had earned. She felt her heart open, her spirit soar, knowing that the love she carried was enough. And with a final, grateful breath, she stepped forward into her new life, unburdened, whole, and filled with the serene power of a heart free from all that once held it captive. This was the beginning of her truest journey. As Maya's journey draws to a close, she stands transformed, a woman who knows her worth and guards her peace. Each encounter with those who belittled, manipulated, or doubted her was not a barrier but a stepping stone toward the self-awareness she now embodies. Through facing the subtle and often hidden challenges in these relationships, she has awakened to her own resilience, realizing that true strength lies not in changing others but in embracing herself fully. Maya's journey is a testament to the power of letting go and honoring the self. Maya's growth reminds us all that setting boundaries is not an act of rejection but one of self-respect. She learned that it's okay to walk away from people who don't see her value, and that she's deserving of connections that uplift and support her journey. Each difficult conversation, each painful realization was a reminder that peace is something we must create within. By choosing her well-being over the comfort of familiar but draining relationships, Maya has freed herself from the weight of others' expectations. In the end, Maya's story isn't just hers alone. It reflects a journey many of us face. How often do we hold on to people or situations that hinder our growth out of fear or habit? And what does it take to finally say, "I deserve more"? Maya's journey invites you to look within, to consider the relationships in your life and ask yourself if they align with your values and your peace. Her transformation serves as a gentle reminder that we, too, have the power to shape our own lives by choosing what we allow into our hearts. Have you ever had to let go of a relationship that challenged your peace or self-worth? What was the hardest part, and how did you finally make the decision to move forward? Share your story in the comments below, and if you found inspiration in Maya's journey, don't forget to like this video. Let's create a space where we can support one another, learning from our shared experiences as we each walk our own paths to inner strength and self-respect.